Welcome, welcome to the Mind Fuck Podcast. Welcome, my friend. Thank you so much for taking time out to hang out with me. I am stoked, uber grateful you're here. My name is Wanu Alishe, and sometimes I do go by Amazing Soul. Welcome. FCK stands for fun, compassion, and kindness. Now, on the Mindfuck podcast, what we essentially talk about is nervous system regulation, how to safely build trust between our brains and our bodies, right? So we can start to reconnect, remember parts of ourselves that we may have forgotten along our journey, and also give ourselves permission to just be human, right? Now, speaking of being human, there's a list that I read every time before the actual episode. It's titled Reminders to Being Human. Now, the intention with reading this list is to remind myself, but also in the hopes of reminding you, my friend, on your journey. All right. Reminders to being human. Have fun along the journey. Show yourself compassion. Be kind to others. Being complex and being simple can hold true in the same breath. Stay curious. Hold space for pauses. Hold space for not knowing. Never underestimate the power of silence. Nature has a lot of wisdom. Pay attention. There is power in we than I. If nothing else makes sense, come back to love. Pain is our greatest teacher. And the very last one, never underestimate your ripple of existence. Yay! Now let's get into the fun part of the show. Okay, all right. I want you to picture something simple, my friend. Not a huge trauma story in your life, not a dramatic movie scene, just a random morning where your alarm goes off and you open one eye and you reach for your phone. You probably open your Instagram or TikTok, maybe even your text messages, or you probably check the weather. You check one thing, then another. You open one app and close another. And within like 3 minutes of doing this back and forth, you feel your chest feeling tighter. Nothing dramatic has happened. Nobody texted anything bad to you overnight. You're still under your blanket, just being cozy on your bed. But somehow your body already feels behind within those 3 minutes of waking up. And your mind starts doing what your mind knows how to do. And the thought goes, okay, what do I need to do today? Don't forget that appointment. Or, okay, I need to respond to that email. Or you say, oh no, okay, I totally forgot about that. Right? And maybe you don't even notice it because for so many years in your life, but for so many years in our lives, I thought that feeling was normal, right? I thought waking up, bracing for the day was just being an adult. That's what I thought. And I want to talk to you today about that on the podcast because for me, on a long time, when I heard the words nervous system regulation, I immediately thought, okay, cool. Now I have to go back and fix my childhood. Maybe you have thought that too, my friend. Maybe someone online said, Everything you experience comes from your childhood. And suddenly you're sitting there thinking to yourself, great. Now I have to go back and fix everything because I feel broken. So now I need to remember everything that happened to me when I was 6 years old, right? And honestly, having that perspective in my life kept me stuck for a very long time because I started approaching myself like a broken project. For example, I will tell myself, okay, let me search, let me analyze, let me figure out what went wrong. That's what I did for so many years. And it kept me in a loop. It kept me stuck. And I keep telling myself, maybe if I find the exact memory, the exact wound, the exact reason why that happened, then finally I will feel better. Maybe then I will stop overthinking everything in my life. Maybe then my relationships in my life will become easier. Maybe then my body will finally relax. And so many years ago, having that belief system and thought process became exhausting as fuck because I kept trying to go backwards while my body was quietly asking for something in the present moment, right? That's what I did for so many years in my life. And I remember after transitioning out of the military in 2022, and if you've ever gone through a major life shift, you will probably understand this feeling that I'm about to describe to you. Because for me, structure from the military, it disappeared overnight. For years in my life, there was wake up here, be here at a certain time, do this, go there, rinse, repeat every fucking day, Monday to Sunday. And then suddenly that structure vanished. There was no schedule, there was no certainty, there was no predictability, there was no clear identity. But on paper, though, after transitioning out of the military, I thought this should actually feel freeing. Like, my freedom is here. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Instead, my body felt confused as fuck. My body felt restless. And I remember waking up some mornings feeling anxious even before my feet touched the floor. And the strange part was nothing bad was physically happening to me. And that part used to frustrate the fuck out of me because I kept asking, okay, if nothing physically is happening, what is wrong with me? I have time, I have freedom. So why does my body feel unsafe? Those are the questions I kept asking myself, right? I'm not in the military anymore. I'm free to be human. Maybe you felt this on your journey. You finally get the relationship. You finally leave the relationship. You move to another city. You start a business. You quit the job you don't like. You get the thing you exactly wanted in your life. And then suddenly, your body still feels unsettled. And now confusion enters the room. And you think to yourself, but I thought this was supposed to make me feel better, right? Now, my friend, I wish someone would have told me this. Your body is not trying to sabotage you. No, your body is simply responding to what it knows because your life changed. But your nervous system hasn't caught up yet. And that realization alone changed everything for me because I stopped asking myself, how do I fix myself? No. And I started asking something very simple. What helps me feel safe today in this moment? Tiny shift, huge fucking difference. What helps me feel safe today in this moment? And when I say safety, I don't mean giant life changes. No. I mean ridiculously mundane small things. I mean micro moments. I mean the boring work. The work nobody really posts online. And I mean waking up in the morning and before you grab your phone to scroll, you feel your feet for a few seconds on the floor. Just for 5 seconds. That's all is required to start to interrupt those thought processes. Or you drink water very slowly. I mean, actually tasting the water go through your throat. Or you put your hand on your chest, right? and feel your heart beating. Or you lay flat on the bed for a minute and feel support underneath you. They are small, very small, but man, they work. And years ago, I would have rolled my eyes hearing this. I would have thought, no, 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 give me the big breakthrough. Give me the one thing, the secret. There is no secret. It's consistency, man. The thing that changes my whole life by tomorrow, give that to me. That's what I would have thought years ago. Because consistency, mundane things, tiny things, for me, years ago, that sounded boring as fuck. But I started noticing something, right? When old emotions came up in my life, I wasn't drowning in them the same way I used to back then. And old things still come up in my life. They still do. That's the work. Because old memories don't disappear because you did one meditation session. No, it doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work like that, my friend. Someone says something, someone doesn't text back like you wanted to, plans change, you disappoint yourself, you feel rejected by someone else, you feel forgotten, you don't feel seen, you compare yourself to another person's journey, and suddenly there is a familiar chest feeling. Your stomach drops, then there's tension in your body. Still there, right? But something changed. There's space now. That's the power of nervous system regulation. There's capacity now. That's the power of nervous system regulation. There's room now. That's the power of nervous system regulation. And that capacity, my friend, changes every fucking thing in your life. And I remember for me, there are some nights where I'll lay in my bed scrolling on my phone. You probably have nights like this, and you tell yourself, just one more video on TikTok, then another, then another. And suddenly you're meant to go to bed around 9 o'clock, then it's midnight, then it's 1 a.m., and you feel exhausted as fuck. But your brain would not just stop, right? Years ago, if that happened to me, I judged myself consistently for moments like that. And I thought to myself, damn, Wanu, why are you doing this? You're tired. Why can't you just sleep? But eventually, I started to understand my body more. My body wasn't trying to annoy me. My body was simply looking for safety. My body was looking for certainty. My body was looking for something familiar. And when I stopped internally fighting myself, I became more compassionate. I became kinder to myself. Everything started to soften. Not overnight, slowly, very fucking slowly, very human too. Because there will be great nights, there will be okay nights. And I think many of us think healing means becoming a completely different human being. No. I mean, most of us think healing means calm all the time, peaceful all the time, never being triggered, never overwhelmed, never reactive to things. But honestly, from my lived experience, I don't think that's the goal anymore. Nah. I think being human means being human. That's it. Life will still happen. You will still get overwhelmed. You will still get scared as fuck. You will still experience sadness. You will still have moments where you stare at your phone too long. You're human. You will still have moments where uncertainty feels uncomfortable as fuck. You're human. The difference now is you start trusting yourself inside those moments of being uncomfortable. That's the difference. Because trust between your brain and your body, real trust is not, I'll trust myself once I stop struggling. No, that's not how it works. Real trust becomes, I know I can meet myself here too, especially in this moment. That's how you remind yourself to be a human being. And if I was speaking directly to myself a few years ago, the version of me who tried to fix everything in her life, the version of me still trying to solve myself like a puzzle, I think I would tell that version of me, you're not behind, Wanu. You're not failing. Your body is not broken. You don't need to perfectly remember every moment from your past. No. You don't need to become a detective of your own pain. No. Maybe, just maybe today, You can simply start with one question, my friend, very softly, very, very honestly, too. What feels safe for me right now? Not tomorrow, not 5 years from now, not forever. Right now. What feels safe for my body right now? Because maybe nervous system regulation isn't really about going backward. Maybe nervous system regulation is slowly remembering those tiny moments, through ordinary moments, through boring moment, everyday human moment, that your body can trust life again. And maybe, my friend, just maybe, it starts today. As always, my friend, I want to thank you from my heart to yours for taking time out to listen, for being here. And I'm sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Thank you.